Well, actually, I think maybe it comes to you because you're going to tell us about some cowboys, aren't you?
That's right. From the Great Plains, I have the Cowboys of South Dakota. They've been with us throughout the first 100 years of our history, and today they're still very much a part of our heritage, a living legacy of our heritage. Let's take a look at some of these South Dakota Cowboys.
Cowboy, you're going to be watching now. Right, he's got the horse Desperado. Next, lean back on him. Next, HANSEN, Cowboy. There's the buzzer.
The excitement and energy of the rodeo. People from all over the country enjoy rodeos. Rodeos also offer a great challenge for the participants to test their horsemanship, their roping skills, and their mental strength. Rodeo started many years ago as friendly competition among cowboys.
I think the rodeo started with the big outfits that they'd get together in the different wagons and compete. They'd always have a horse they thought somebody could ride, or had somebody could ride better than the other hands.
There is a lot more to being a cowboy than the rodeo.
I guess a cowboy is somebody that can handle cattle and understands cattle, works with cattle.
A cowboy is definitely not the clothes, and so many people think that if you wear boots and a hat, you're a cowboy. Cowboy, cowman, rancher, to me, they're all about the same. Cowboy's kind of a younger guy, and a cowman or a rancher is one that's kind of got himself established, got a place maybe of his own instead of just working for wages. But there are people that can tell when a cow is in trouble. They know cattle, they can see how they're wintering, they know what kind of shape they're in. They can get on a bronc on a cold morning when he's got a hump in his back and ride him off. Maybe he'll buck a little bit, but they can do those kind of things. It's a lifestyle, but it's a tough life sometimes. I guess a lot of these romantics that think they can put on a pair of boots and a hat and be a cowboy, they don't even have any idea what it is.
Cowboys have been with us throughout the history of the state.
I tried my hand at city life. I guess that I was hoping I could find a better way of living that was laced with happiness and peace of mind. But the bright lights of the city only make this cowboy feel alone. And I found what I'd been searching for was waiting all the time right here at home. I'm in heaven on a horse on the wide open prairies of Dakota, where life sings me a melody and my heart sings in harmony. My troubles never been so few before.
However, changes are occurring in the cowboy's life.
Biggest change probably in the area is fenced pastures and a lot less people now.
I guess a guy has to stop and think to really realize them because most of the changes come slowly. But yeah, there's been a lot of changes. The places are getting larger. That, you know, again, for a while, of course, if you go back in history, there was a lot of big ranches and open range, and then it got all broke up, and a lot of homesteaders, and then they started leaving in the 20s and 30s, late 20s and 30s.
Well, I've got some pretty modern conveniences that take along with them. Got campers and stuff, and got their meals with them, and they used trail cattle with we had a pack horse one time we left, bedroll on a pack horse, and never enough grub to last. Usually run out the last couple of days, kind of went without.
Some of those changes are not as well accepted as others, such as the increased use of four-wheel drive vehicles instead of horses.
Okay, I still like to use horses. You get a country like this, and you can't find cattle or gather them with them. Or you have to do a certain amount. I guess we do what we have to do.
We do just about everything on horseback as far as handling cattle. I guess I'm old-fashioned in that regard. I don't think we'll ever come up with a better way of handling cattle than horseback.
Branding is the way the cowboys can tell where the cattle belong after the roundup. In the old days of the open range, and even now with fenced grazing land, cattle roam and mingle together. The brand is the way to prove ownership. And brand Branding is one of the cowboys' chores that hasn't experienced many changes.
You still burn the brand on them and do most of the things the same, only you have a bottle gas burner to heat the iron instead of the wood fire. But it's pretty much the same method. We still rope them cows and drag them to the fire.
The job can be demanding, and the days long and hot.
Yeah, there were long days. You had to get up early in the morning and try to get a move in before it got hot. And you had to kind of, if you could get on water, you'd just hang around until it cooled off a little and get out a ways in the evening again.
But work must also continue when the weather turns cold.
Hard winters, the cold rides. God damn, I remember a lot of days you'd come in and your toes would be frozen. Just when they didn't have good warm clothes then. We didn't have none of these good snowsuits or any of that stuff. Just put on all the clothes you had, 2 or 3 pair of pants and a sheepskin coat. And
the life of a cowboy involves much hard work, at times in uncomfortable situations. What could compel someone to this life?
I didn't know anything else. I guess I just grew up with it, and I kind of liked it, and it was a pretty easy way of life most of the time. Doing what you like to do, I guess that's the main thing. If you can kind of
Oh yeah, I enjoy it. I guess at one time when I was going through college, I considered maybe going into banking, but this place come up for sale just about the time I graduated. Jobs were real hard to get in '70, and so there was more than one reason why I ended up here on the ranch.
There are many more reasons for someone to choose the life of a cowboy.
I guess it's just that you have some free time and all that. There's hardly every time you can't take a little time off to do something different.
Would they like to do things a little differently?
Just in this way, I know what's happened. There's things I could do different to it. It'd have a lot of benefit to me knowing what's the past, but as far as the life itself, I enjoy it. I wouldn't do anything different.
Oh, I'd sure do this again. It's been good. I think the kids have enjoyed it growing up on a ranch. Hopefully they'll want to pursue that same kind of work. It's too early to tell for sure. But no, I think it's been a good life, and I don't have any second thoughts about it.
The cowboy is an important part of the economy, but what does the future hold?
It's changing an awful lot. It's got to where you got to run a lot more cattle. I suppose ranches get bigger and it will eliminate a lot of smaller ranches. It already has. A lot of them, years back, people had 100 cows and the place to run them was in real good shape. Now I think half of them calves finally pick up.
But I think the future will be bright for people that are competitive and, work at it, keep their act together. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to succeed at it. That's never been that way, and it probably won't be in the future.
The cowboys and their ranches are here to stay, and they will continue to have an influence in our state.
It's basically our sense of values and our individuality and our independence that we have. I think we have more of that in the upper Midwest or the Great Plains than most people, and it's due to our rural lifestyle, probably not just cowboys, but knowing how to work and knowing hard times as young people, and appreciating nature, trying to learn to live with nature instead of against nature. I guess that's one thing that a cowboy or a cowman has to try to learn to do. It's way more rewarding to try to work with nature than to be fighting it all the time. And you can't always do that, but that's our goal, is to try to be set up. My dad always said the time to feed your cows good is when it's nice. So when a storm comes along, they don't need feed. They can get by for several days in a storm. Well, if you're not doing that and your cows get thin and a storm comes along, then you've got to be out there fighting the weather trying to get feed to them because they can't take a 3 or 4 day storm. So it's just, it's trying to work things out and be able to take care of yourself and not have the government or somebody else looking after you.
I think when they're all kids at some time during their life, they want to be a cowboy. They all dress cowboy yet. The kids all want a hat and boots in this area. And I think they think it's a good life. I think they kind of probably would all like to be ranchers if they could make a living at it.
Now I rest here in the saddle, in the shade of this old oak tree. With the cattle grazing peacefully on green summer grass above their knees. As the soft southern breezes gently blow my every care away from me. Then I realize without a doubt that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I'm in heaven on a horse on the wide open prairies of Dakota.
I just have to agree with Kyle Evans, our Centennial troubadour, with that you're in heaven on a horse, because I've got a couple of my own. What a beautiful piece that we just heard and watched about South Dakota Cowboys by our own Ron Reeder.